Natamize here, back with another video. I'm actually charging my Tesla right now and decided to make a quick video while it's charging. So we have 10 minutes, so I'm going to take 10 minutes or less. How do you get proof of funds when you want to raise money for your private equity deal? If you want to buy a business using very little or none of your own money, the issue you find is when you try to reach out to investors, or you try to reach out rather to people that want to sell their company, especially if you reach out to brokers, many of them won't take you seriously unless you have proof of funds. So proof that you can actually make the acquisition. So how do you get across this hurdle? And I'm going to explain 3 different systems that we set up for our clients at raises.com and systems that you can implement on your own that can help you get proof of funds. Number 1, find people that find the money. So if you don't have the access to the proof of funds yourself, or you don't have access to people that have the money, find people that have the money. Very straightforward, right? They're actually for those who aren't initiated, they're companies that are experienced and specialized at finding investors and selling deals to them so that you can acquire a business using their money. And I'm talking about the debt and the equity for the down payment. So these are investment banks, aka placement agents, and that's probably the biggest way to find it. So pretty much, many investment banks, they charge you hundreds of thousands of dollars or tens of thousands of dollars to work with them. So sometimes you have to have a good relationship with an investment banker to get like a better deal or no money upfront deal. But the idea is sometimes they give you this engagement letter that says that, yeah, I'm going to help you raise money in exchange for a percent of the cash collected after the deal closes, plus a percentage upfront. So sometimes, depending on how eager the seller is, you can give them that letter, and then it can show that you have access to people that will be able to fund the deal. And that being said, if you're serious about working with investors and you don't have the money yourself, just find a company that is in the business of finding money for people, such as an investment bank. And if you do that, then you can use that letter for a very, quote unquote, more desperate seller. The issue is sometimes if the seller isn't that desperate, they won't want to do this and they don't care. So the solution is find sellers that are, well, not desperate, but I guess motivated. And that's how you find, that's how you'll be able to use just engagement letters as proof of funds. Next, you get different letters of commitment. So we do this as well at raises.com. So sometimes what we do is we work with broker dealers and a network of them. And one of our pending companies is a brokerage. It's a commercial mortgage brokerage lender, more of an intermediary in that sense, which is pending. And so we use some of these things to give people proof of confidence and letters to show that, okay, yeah, we have the money, or we have access to the people that have access to the money. So again, depending on how serious the seller is, they can go and do that, or they'll be able to take that on. And then the final thing is obviously getting proof of funds. So one thing that you can do is when you're seriously, none of the 2 approaches work. And sometimes if the seller is more like in a cash economy, like we have this issue sometimes where there will be a seller in a cash economy, such as the Caribbean, South America, etc. And we're not really as familiar with those parts of the world as others, as like the West. So sometimes in the West, the engagement letter from an investment bank is enough. But in the West, what we can do instead is basically there's a way to start potentially raising capital and then see if people are interested. And if the investor is an accredited investor, then they'll be able to move forward, because the thing is that if you're reaching out to investors and you're making a special type of offering, they would have to be accredited investors, meaning their net worth is over 1 million or 5 million with a spouse, excluding their primary residence, and their net worth would be over 200,000 or 300,000 with a spouse. So if you solicit interest in a compliant way from those investors before you even get the deal under contract, then the argument can be made that, hey, that's a form of proof of funds in a way, because these investors attest that they're accredited. And then you can also get things to verify if these investors are accredited. There's third-party services that do that. You can do that, they can do that, or you can reach out to their CPA to do that. And then if you just simply get like any form of interest from that investor, even saying, yes, I would potentially be interested in investing if it was a good fit for my situation, then that could potentially be enough for you to get past that proof of funds door. So those are some things that we recommend. And then as opposed to just throwing your bank account to a bunch of random people. And I guess like the last caveat I'd say at the end is, if they're so insistent on proof of funds, and then you just don't have access, then honestly just find another deal. Because unless you don't be desperate for these deals, there's so many other companies out there. So with this has just been my 2 cents, and the Tesla is almost charged, 5 minutes remaining, and perhaps I'll crank out another video. But until then, make sure you subscribe, click above, click below, wherever you have to click, just so you can learn more, get the free resources, and we'll see you on the other side.